Okay, so a student had a question about attaching an external style sheet to their HTML page. So we're in week 4 here, and if you're in D2L, you can go to week 4 content area, and we have this Ogrix website week 4 end file that's zipped here. So if you don't have this already, you may want to download it because this will let you reference how we did it in class. And so I've gone ahead and done that. And where is it? It's in my downloads folder. I'm just going to drag it to my desktop. Now you may want to make this video full size so you can see all the details of what I'm doing. But here's the folder. So this is our website folder that has all of our files in it. And if I open that folder, of course I'm on a Macintosh, so things are a little bit different. You should see all the different folders. So for your project, you should have pretty much the same folders because each one of those is a page on your website. You want to make sure that there's an index page in your root folder. We're calling this the folder that has all your website files is considered the root folder. And we're working in the About page for now. So I'm going to open this index.html file. And I'm going to open that up with Dreamweaver CC 2014. That might take a second here. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how to. You should already have a CSS style sheet or a styles.css file already created. If you haven't done that yet, and in my folder, I would put that in my CSS folder. Notice I have CSS in lowercase, that's important. And here's the styles.css file. So you got to remember what this is called. This is CSS lowercase, styles.css, all in lowercase. If you always keep things in lowercase, then you're not, at the least you're not going to mix up lowercase and uppercase because that can get things messed up on your file. It would cause it to not work. Singular and plural is another thing that gets tricky. But in this case, I'm just going to call it styles.css. That's a pretty common name for it. But the question is, how do I link to it so that it shows up in my index file? So I already have the code that you need right here on line 6 on the index.html file. So you should be able to download that, open it, and this is exactly the code that you write. Now what's important here is how you do this href link. Alright, notice that we're doing what's called relative URL, and since the style sheet is not in the CSS folder, or not in the About folder, alright, let's go back and see how that goes. So here's the About folder. That's the file that we're trying to link this to. It's in the About folder, but the style sheet is not in the About folder. So by doing .. it tells it to look up one folder level, which would be the website root domain. Then in the root domain you have /CSS, so it's telling it to now look in the CSS folder. And then the styles.css file should be in the CSS folder. So that's how we write the relative link. Now if you were trying to create this style sheet link for your home page, this one right here, notice that you won't need a .. because it's already at the top at the root folder. So I'm just going to show you what this will look like on the home page, and yes, it's different. For the home page, I take out the / and the ... and it would just be CSS /styles.css. But that's only for this index homepage file right here. All the other ones are going to be the same as the one on About. You're going to need the .. and then you would save that. And then when I go to my file, now that I've saved it, you should be able to open that with any web browser. I'll go ahead and open it with Firefox. Might need to get a faster computer here. And it pulls it up. And so you see all of the styles. Now, we're eventually going to change some of these styles and not keep what we have here. But you'll notice that the things that we've done in the style sheet had changed the title or the H1 tag font. We also created a link rollover effect. And all of that was controlled with this styles.css file. So once you've properly linked this relevant this external style sheet, in that file you should see the styles.css folder up here. That's a feature of Dreamweaver 2014. If you have an older version of Dreamweaver, it might not be doing that for you, so you're going to have to open that as a separate file. Okay, so I can switch to my style sheet now, and you can see all of the styles that I've created that control different types of elements. So we have a body element, H1 elements, a paragraph element. In this case, I created custom style. In order to do a custom style, it has to start with a dot. And then I can name it whatever I want. And then when I go bring it to my header, I can apply it to an element. And let's see, where did I do that? Right here, this paragraph right here. So this element, paragraph, I added class equals red hyphen section. And you have to make sure that you call it exactly what you named it without the dot. Alright, so when you put class equals in the parentheses, you don't put the dot in there. But in the style sheet, it has to have a dot. That's for a custom class. And then we have all these what are called pseudo selectors for the link styles. And you can copy all of this. So all links will be blue, and then they'll change colors accordingly based upon these states of the links. Alright, so that's how you do it. You just have to make sure that in your head, in between the head tags up here, and you have to have the head tags, that you have put this code right here that I've got on line 6 in the class exercise. And if you do it just like that, and you make sure that you've got your relative URL link right, then it should pull that style sheet in, and it'll change how your HTML appears when you open it as a file in a browser software. Okay, and so that's how we do linking an external style sheet. And well, in this case, I'm just using the code view, but this is the code you would have to handwrite in order to put that in. All right, and that's all there is to it.